Well, I've got some disappointing and bad news. Of course, we already had the issue with our rudder is broken. So we're gonna have to be pulled and put on the hard so that we can fix our rudder. But, hi, I'm Ron.
And I'm Marie.
10 years ago, we bought a broken down trawler for $4,000.
And nothing worked, not even the kitchen sink.
After a lot of hard work and help from our friends and family, we moved aboard Elixir full time. And now we are cruising this old boat while the work and fun continues.
So subscribe and give us a like and come along with us, cruising this old boat. Did you finish cleaning the solar panels?
Finished solar panels. And now I gotta see what's next.
On your list?
Yep.
So I thought we would tell our viewers how we do our Tickler File, what it's all about. Okay, so what we do is it's kind of a holdover from the days of working at the law office. And what we had at the law office was what's called a Tickler File, and anybody that works in a law office is probably familiar with that. And basically it's just a file box with the months and the days, and Ron's going to show it to you here. And so like today was
31st.
the 31st, so he's already pulled the cards from the 31st, and it just has, each card is, you know, it tells us what we're supposed to look into that day. What does that one say?
It says clean the solar panels.
Okay, and then you date it and sign it.
It says do it every week.
Okay.
So it tells me how often to do it and tells me what to do, clean the solar panels. And then when I've done it, I date it, initial it, and then I put it back in the Tickler File for next week.
Right. And so some of them are monthly, some of them are yearly, some of them are, you know, every 2 months. It just depends on what it is and needs to be done. And of course we always find projects in between time to do as well. And we do this amongst trying to have fun.
This is fun, doing all this work on the boat.
Well, we're in exotic locations. We're now in Nassau,
Yep.
So in the Bahamas. We're now in the Bahamas. That one there's check the water in the Jenny. Sometimes we started out with like checking something weekly and decide we only have to do it monthly, or sometimes we say, oh, we only need to check it every 6 months, and then we discover we need to do it every 3 months, and we just adapt. But that helps us keep on top of everything.
So we don't forget.
Yeah, which we do sometimes. And now, as long as we don't forget to check the box, right?
Right.
And we keep the box right at our our lower helm station, so we see it regularly. I smell an odor in the bilge, and I'm better at finding odors and tracking them down, and so I'm headed towards the engine room.
Because I don't smell stink.
It's because you always stink. So I'm going to go down into the bilge and do some cleaning and see if I can get rid of it. And I know that it's not a fuel smell, it is a dead critter fritter smell. So Ron was down there cleaning the filters, the sea strainers, and of course there was grass caught up in the sea strainers, which once it starts decaying, I mean, that could be the whole, he's got those cleaned out now, but that could have been the source of the odor, but I'm still smelling it in the room. And yeah. one of the reasons we're doing all these projects on the boat today is because we're having problems with our outboard on the dinghy, and we've got a mechanic that's going to be looking at it tomorrow. So we're just not going to trust going into town or scooting around the island or anything in the dinghy today. So and it's like what, 22 knots out there right now? 22 miles an hour winds. So we're just staying on the boat and catching up. Let me show you why the bilge needs to be cleaned. This is what I'm getting ready to go down and do. That paint is normally cream colored. I think he's planning on eventually painting it white, but right now the pump, the bilge pump, has broken off its bracket. It's always something, right? It's broken off its bracket and it's not sitting down. It normally will pump out down to a half an inch of water, and right now it's keeping about an inch and a half of water. We got a lot of projects on a long list that we got to take care of. Oh. My old body can't handle this. So I've got it partially clean, but not rinsed out or anything. And we're changing out the base to the bilge pumps, the strainer part. But it's looking better already. And we got to put that part back in right there. And he's got a new one to go in. You brought more supplies.
More screws.
Bigger ones to fill the hole, maybe. You got a collection. Those are all stainless steel, huh?
Yep. Never know what size you'll need.
Alrighty. I'm gotta crawl out of here. Oh, you saw the other part of it where it's broken off?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't do that. He's a manly man. He doesn't use the knee pad.
One of our sources of entertainment while anchored in Nassau is listening to the cruise ships blast their horns when they're getting ready to leave. Sometimes they try to get creative. One time, a couple of Carnival cruise ships had a competition on who could be the loudest. But by far our favorite is Disney, because they always put on a show with their horns. our outboard had started acting up and got to where it just wouldn't idle, and you have to go to idle to shift gears. So every time I tried to shift gears into neutral, into forward, reverse, it would just die, and sometimes not in a very opportune location. I mean, anytime you're coming in even to our own boat, to the swim platform, you have to go to idle to get up to the swim platform and tie the dinghy off, and it just die, and the current would start taking us away. So we took it over, we contacted a repairman here in Nassau, knowing it probably wouldn't be cheap because it's Nassau, and found a repairman that would actually look at it on Saturday, as today is Saturday. So we took it over there, and of course it kept dying, had to row some, and but I finally got it over there, and he looked at it, tore it apart, cleaned the carburetor, changed the plugs, but his final analysis is there's oil getting past the rings somehow and causing issues, and that's why it keeps stalling out. So he says it's going to be a major rebuild. He said that the price of rebuilding the dinghy is probably so high that we should think about buying a new outboard. This outboard's only about 3 years old, so we're really disappointed. Of course, as with all things, the warranty just expired. Yay! Isn't that the way it goes? So now we're looking at the price of an outboard, and of course we've been wanting to get a different dinghy. Being over here in the Bahamas has told us that this dinghy isn't the right dinghy for over here. Works great in the ICW to just run from your boat to the shore, to the dock, but for dinking around and going to different beaches and all the different sites and exploring, this isn't the right dinghy for us. So we wanted to get a new dinghy, but it would take a different outboard than what goes on this. So anyway, all that's another story. The short story is we've got to cancel the rest of our trip in the Bahamas. So we are leaving early tomorrow morning. There's a weather window, and we're going to start heading back to the States. Just grab every weather window we can to get across, because we have no way to get to shore now, and it's getting worse and worse, and you can't rely on it to leave the boat. So our trip to Bahamas is cut short. It's unfortunate. There's places we wanted to see we haven't been to yet, but that'll be for another year, I guess. So now we got to figure out what to do about the outboard. Like Marie says, the dinghy is our car. That's how we get to the grocery store. That's how we get to clothing stores, auto parts stores. Anything we do with the dinghy, because the Elixir's too big to get up to the shore, and it gets expensive putting her in the marina all the time where we could walk to shore. So we anchor out most of the time to save costs. So yeah, lots of fun. Now we gotta figure out what to do, but just wanted to bring y'all up to date.
1-4, traffic night 1-4. 1-4.
So my mom and sister are on that ship, but because our dinghy isn't working, we have no way to get to shore to meet them.
Here's the pilot boat right next to us.
Sadly, we are departing Nassau at the same time they're pulling in.
I think we need to turn them more to the left. They're probably going to be turning around.
Behind us. Well, as soon as they get past us, we're going out. We won't be in their way when they try to turn around.
Okay. Oh boy. Huh?
I said thanks, pilot boat.
Yeah, he waked us really bad. And what's he doing? Going out past this guy. He's going out for somebody else.
There's another one out there somewhere.
Well, it's into the sun, but that's them arriving as we're leaving.
Thanks for watching.